the President of the United States.
Whether he was overturning the culture of Washington,
government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Or challenging the world's only other superpower,
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
The 40th President of the United States,
Preserve, protect, and defend,
was an unconventional politician whose legacy continues to shape politics today.
He changed the average citizen's relations with Washington, certainly their expectations of Washington.
America is coming back and is more confident than ever about the future.
He changed the Republican Party. He transformed conservatism. He put a smile on its face.
Like it or not, and many didn't, presidential historian Richard Norton Smith says Reagan shattered Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal consensus.
The idea that power must inevitably flow to Washington.
Our proposal is for a 10% across-the-board cut every year for 3 years in the tax rates.
The Reagan Revolution cut taxes, though he later had to raise them, reduced spending on social programs, and increased the military budget.
While he was doing these things, there were a lot of rocky hurdles to overcome.
Ed Meese, Reagan's longtime counselor and later Attorney General, says Reagan's self-confidence helped his agenda.
The way in which he provided the leadership, his cheerfulness, his optimism, his sense of humor. He was the same person if he was talking to one or two of us in the Oval Office or if he was talking to 10,000 people at a political rally.
The movie actor turned politician was known as the Great Communicator.
And I want to report to you on.
But his last White House Chief of Staff, Ken Duberstein, says his boss was also a great compromiser.
Tip O'Neill used to say of Ronald Reagan, I don't like compromising with President Reagan because every time I do, Reagan gets 80% of what he wants. And Reagan would say to us, I'll take 80% every time. And I'll come back the next year for the additional 20.
Reagan did not intend for there to be $200 billion deficits, but it turned out to be the price that he was willing to pay to get his tax cuts and to get his military buildup.
Loyalists say Reaganomics spurred an economic boom, and that his peace through strength hastened the end of the Cold War.
What he inherited, a deep recession with hostages in Iran. What he did was restore respect for America throughout the world and a pride here in America, here at home.
Which may be why, 22 years after he left office, Reagan has become an iconic figure.
Ron and Nancy are home!
Ronald Reagan really was not concerned about his legacy. He was not an introspective person, and he always figured that if he did the right thing, history would take care of itself.
History that will be written and debated for decades to come. Bill Plante, CBS News, Washington.